Hello, Miss Catherine.
Hello. See, I wasn't sure which of us was going to start it. We were both like staring at each other, and I was like, ooh, do I say hello first? Normally you do. So I was just waiting to see how long that pause was going to be. You said it
Okay.
first, though.
Yeah, well, that's the way it works sometimes. So it is where I am at least Thursday, October the 24th, 2024 at dark 30 in the morning. Um, how are you?
And it is currently Tuesday for me,
N-
October 23rd at 5 p.m. for me.
It is not Tuesday, it is Wednesday, dear.
Oh man, I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. Look at that. Normally, do we do recordings on Tuesdays? Yeah, half the time we do. Anyway, it's Wednesday. Either way, I'm back in time compared to him at the moment. So he's recording tomorrow and I am recording yesterday.
So, how are you?
Doing pretty good. I don't know if you can hear my cat screeching in the background, but she has decided that today she's going to be the most vocal creature in the planet, no matter what I'm doing. Take a nap, screech at me. Do the laundry, screech at me. Sit on the couch and watch a show, screech at me. So, yeah, if you hear her in the background, that is the Siamese in her. Other than that, I've been doing pretty darn good. I don't know where we left off in our last update, but I'm pretty sure I was still working at the YMCA. I
You
am no
were.
longer working at the YMCA. And while that is a huge story to go into, what I'll say is that there were lots of management issues that led me to leaving.
Well, that works.
Yeah. So now I have my mornings to myself, which has been really nice. I do not have to wake up by the latest at 6:15 in order to roll out of bed and be out the door by 6:30. I can now wake up at 6 o'clock if I want to,
6 o'clock or
which
7 o'clock or 8 o'clock?
6 a.m. because I used to have to be at work by 7 a.m. This is the person who's
Yeah.
like, it's like 7 a.m. for you right now, isn't it?
Well, that's just because I have a friend in the wrong time zone.
Hey, I offered later. I did. You've been waking up earlier.
I have, that's true.
All right. You're the one who's upside down right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way it goes, I guess.
Oh, okay. All right. Because us Americans, right? And the way we are always taught things, does the toilet flush backwards?
There have been videos about this, and the answer is it depends on the design of the toilet. It does not depend on your location.
Okay. Do your toilets flush backwards?
No, they don't.
Okay.
They are
Bam.
deeper, however,
Oh,
which
that's
is weird.
interesting.
They have a taller bowl.
Okay.
Yes.
So, at least one myth has been debunked today.
Yes.
Other than that, my mornings are now going to be set up with me doing writing and editing and yoga because I can work out now before going to work. And it's actually like getting into this pattern has been really nice not having the YMCA. I miss my kids like there's no tomorrow. I am currently crocheting them little octopi so I can go give them to them for Halloween. But it is extremely nice to not have to wake up and like have that stress of that job. The kids were not the stressful part. Like I said, it was management. So it's really nice to not have that stress anymore.
Well, that's good. I
Yeah,
I I have been typically waking up naturally about 5:30 in the morning, which is just offensive to me.
I
It's
agree.
like, yeah, this is like from somebody who naturally used to sleep until 10 or 10:30 in the morning and then stay up until 2 or 3 in the morning. Now I'm going to bed at 10:30 at the latest. It's really it's really sad. but it does give me a few hours in the morning um, to spend some time with my writing and just editing, and without the pets and the roommate and the fiance and all of those things that come with living with people. I don't have those
Mhm.
things up in the morning yet, so that's nice.
And it's also getting lighter now for you, like, right? Like you're gaining daylight.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
bright out right now. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you were here last year. All of the leaves look super cool. We're just at like end of peak. So like now
Hmm.
they're all falling. Half my trees are all dead outside. But it's looking really cool. And I took a walk in it today with all the leaves like falling down and I was like, this is super cool. And it's like 70 degrees, which was like nice. So so yeah, I was thinking of that. I was like, wow, last October you were over here
Yeah,
and
I
like
was.
experiencing fall. You guys now, do you get like fall or is that more palm tree in Australia? No, there's
I,
other trees.
there are other trees in Australia other than palm trees. I've
Yeah.
not actually seen a palm tree here.
Oh, okay.
So
I wasn't
yeah,
sure how close to like the coast you are.
very close to the coast. We're
Okay.
Yeah, we're just a couple hour drives from beach communities, and that's not a couple hours inland. That's a couple hours north and south. We're very very close to the coast. If we
Okay.
had if we had hurricanes here, we'd have hurricanes here.
Mm,
So,
that's
but
interesting.
yeah,
So
so
you'll get to now experience summer, right?
that
Well,
is
more
correct. We are
than
going
that, I
into
guess,
summer.
huh?
We're going into summer.
Yeah. Which is super strange because you're still winter. Let me know how Christmas goes.
We're planning a pool party for Christmas.
That's awkward. That's so weird. Oh, I'm like dreaming for snow here.
Yeah, but you live in New York, you'll get snow.
No, it hasn't snowed on Christmas in the last few years.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem then.
No, it's a climate problem. Anyway, back to the real stuff. So, writing, how are you doing? I know that we just met with our accountability group, so I know a little bit, but our viewers do not, and listeners,
And listeners,
wherever
yeah,
they are.
I don't know how many people we have who view, um, considering that we don't publish video. Um, no, I finished my session with my editor, with JP Rindfleisch the ninth, previous guest on the show, and so now I have all of those recordings. I put those recordings into my Scrivener project, so they're always available for me. And I had been going through those recordings sort of 5 minutes at a time, where I'll listen to our discussion and go, okay, here's a change I need to make. And then I spend the next 3 hours making the change. And then I go for another 3 minutes, 5 minutes in the video. Okay, there's another change I need to make. And I go spend 3 hours making that change and just moving forward in the product. I'm currently at um, chapter number 17.
Ooh,
Um, yeah, which is a big battle scene, and I suck at writing battle scenes. So, this is quite the exercise for me. And I don't like it. I don't like the scene. I think it's wimpy. Um, but hopefully with the changes that JP has suggested, we'll make it a little bit better. I may need to make it longer. I've gotten the word count up from 40,000 when I send it to JP up
mhm.
to 53,000 now, I think it is.
Wow.
So yeah, so a lot of words have come into being that are getting me closer to my word count goal of 60 to 80. So I'm thinking, given what I have left to do, what I know that I have left to do, I'm probably going to hit 80.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's a lot of first
And
drafting though, and I was hoping I was done with the first drafting, but that's the way it goes.
how has it been? Like, do you find that there are times where you were annoyed by the stuff JP was saying? Not that you're annoyed at JP, but like that inner ugh, feeling of like, you don't understand.
No, no. JP understands. And the truth is there's really only one sentence in the book that I'm attached to. Um,
Was it a sentence they didn't like?
no, no, no. JP didn't even remark on it, so it stays. Um, but I just felt like um, I felt like the comments were excellent and sort of mirrored my own thinking, but I couldn't put my own thinking into words, into actionable words. And JP has helped me do that.
Oh,
So
awesome.
that's what that's what our sessions were about. It was not just, okay, here's the problem. Yeah, I know Act 3 is a fucking problem. It's not just identifying what the problems are, it's coming up with actionable ways to fix it. Okay, so here are the things you might do. Here's what you need to add. Here's what you need to take out. These are the things that I would think about in terms of backstory so that you have the answers to them, so that you can seed the backstory now or seed, set up notes for future books,
Hmm.
so that you have a predicate. And it's okay. Of course, it's the first novel, so it's okay to not share everything with the reader. But there are things that I need to know as the author that are going to come out in book 2 and in book 3 that, I need to prepare for in book 1 if I'm going to do it any kind of intelligent way. Which is
Okay.
why I'm probably not going to do it any kind of intelligent way. So, but yeah. So that's what I've been working on. Is I've just been this week. It's been struggling through chapter 17, and it's probably going to be several weeks of struggling through chapter 17, 3 minutes in the video at a time. It's very very dense. Our comments and our discussion tends to be very dense, and so
Okay.
there's a lot to go through. Um, and frankly, the writing just isn't very good, and so I'm needing to work on that.
And again, for, people, you also handed in a zero draft, technically.
Yeah, it was a very very rough draft.
Mhm.
It was not by any stretch publishable work. But I gave him, my remit to him was that it was basically a developmental edit, and so that's what we were doing was a
Mhm.
developmental edit. So it was an earlier in the process draft than, for example, you would show me.
Yeah. I mean, I will give you a draft zero. You would die of a heart attack. But
Yeah, yes, I probably would.
the amount of was's and hads and haves,
Hmm.
or the comments of, bitch, just put something here. Those comments are the best, where it's all of a sudden like, you don't know what they look like yet. And like that's my little quotes, like in my little bracket. And then it just like continues on writing.
See, that's why I went to an AI image generation service. I don't use the big one, Mid Journey, because it's too expensive. But I bought one, and um, I used it to just generate quickie quickie images for me so that I can base descriptions off those images. So
Okay.
it works.
I mean,
And then
that's
of
a cool
course I
way
put
of
the
using
image.
AI.
Yeah, and then I put the image into Scrivener so that I have it. And the only reason that I'm mentioning Scrivener so much is because I love your face when I do.
You know what's funny is that you use Scrivener very similar to how I use OneNote.
Maybe you should use Scrivener because that's what it's designed for.
Yeah, but OneNote's better. I mean, it's also free, so there is that.
I can arrange for copies of Scrivener to appear in your neighborhood if you wanted one.
No, I'm all good on that. I have tried Scrivener. I really have. I've given it 4 chances, and it just does not do anything for me. I think it's just too much of a learning curve for me to spend the time. I'm sure that once I've learned it, it'd be great, but it doesn't work for me in the I need to write immediately zone.
See, and that's something that a lot of people point out with Scrivener when like on Reddit when we get new users in. Well, it's got so many features. Yeah, I don't know most of the features of Scrivener myself. When I was generating the chapters that I sent to you that you haven't looked at,
I now
um,
have time in the mornings to do it.
um, when I put those chapters together for you, I had to spend probably an hour and a half learning the compile system, but I had no need for the compile system before that, so I didn't bother
Mm.
learning a feature that I didn't need to know. And there are other features that I don't use. I don't use scrivenings mode. I don't use the typewriter mode, and I don't use the mode that it asks that where for screenplays, for example. I don't use those modes, so I don't know anything about them and how to use them. But for the way that I work, I know exactly what I need to know, and I know exactly how I need to interact with the tool to make it work. It's great. Um,
Well, that's good. But
yeah,
for me, it's just too much of a learning curve. It'd be too much of a rabbit hole when all I want to do is write.
yeah, I
And
understand.
I used OneNote for college, so it was really like this made sense.
Yeah, I understand.
Mhm. And it doesn't have extra shiny little new things. So for me, OneNote works.
There's nothing new and shiny about Scrivener.
No, but it has like templates to use and stuff like that. And then I would be like, ooh, let's try this one. And then I'd go down that rabbit hole
Mm,
of like, how
okay.
much world building can I do? And I'm like, I make my own templates. Like, I don't need other people's templates because then I'll be like, ooh, but I need this in them and I need to add this to it. So it's just never really worked for me.
Oh well, someday you'll see the light.
Or you will, and you'll realize I was right all along. That Google Docs is the way to go.
God, please kill me now.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine putting 60,000 words into Google Docs and seeing its performance.
Try 230,000.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little
Exactly.
slow to open up, but other than that, it works pretty great.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I'll pass. I mean, the number one reason that I would pass is if I want to take a scene and move it, it's much easier to do it in Scrivener. I know you can select and copy and paste in or cut and paste in Google Docs, but that's not no, just drag and drop. Just drag and drop. It's easy.
You know, I can drag and drop in OneNote.
I know, but how do you how do you get stuff out of OneNote? Anyway, it's we're in another rabbit hole.
We are. See, this is why I don't do Scrivener. It always sends me into a rabbit hole.
Anyway,
I'd
so
love to
that's
get a
what it
shirt that says no, Scrivener is the devil.
maybe someday one will show up near you.
And then and only writers will get it too. Like they'll be like either yes or they'll be like no, it's not. It'd be fun to see.
You can wear it to a writers conference.
Oh, I should. I'm gonna have one made just to go to one. It's gonna be great. Speaking of
Anyway,
writing conferences, do you think there's any in Australia you'd be willing to go to or
I'm
interested in going in?
I'm sure they exist. I haven't spent time finding one. I I wanted to focus on my visa application first, and there's still some stuff
Which,
that I need to do. Yes, I got the bridge visa.
there you
So,
go. People don't know.
yeah, I got the bridge visa, so I'm allowed to stay for a while, and now I'm
Woohoo!
allowed to work, and now I'm allowed to access the medical system. So, um,
That's good.
that's those are all steps in the right direction. Yeah. So after I'm done here, I've got to go get some medical needs taken care of. I got to go visit the vampires and have my blood drawn. So
I'm sure phlebotomists love being called that.
I'm sure they do. That's what they're for. So anyway,
That's a
um,
good short story there. Just be like the first one who like figured out how to draw blood was actually a vampire and then just taught other vampires, and it's only vampires that are allowed to be phlebotomists.
oh, you should write that one.
I think I might. Maybe I'll
Except
short
for you,
story it and see if it
yeah.
works.
Well, it'll for you. Yeah, short story for you is 55,000 words.
Now, I have written a short story that is under 6,000 words.
I don't understand this.
I don't
I,
either.
something is not right with the world.
Hmm. I'll send it to you just so you can see it and be proof that I did it.
Okay. Anyway, that's all I've got going on here. There's not a great deal to talk about anymore other than, I'm just chugging away on well, I don't know about chugging, but I'm working on chapter 17, and we're just, we're moving through that
Yeah.
we're moving through
And
that discussion with JP, the recording.
and now that I have my mornings free, there's going to be a lot more writing stuff happening. So our next update, hopefully, I'll have more to update you on.
Well, there we go. All right. So, I guess that about does it for today.
Stay magical.
Bye.
I
Okay.
did it with my other hand, and I'm not okay with that. I was like, eh. I was like, no, no, no. It needs to be up across the screen this way. It can never be my left hand again. That was gross. I was like, it needs, no, it's like, stay magical. Like, there we go. That's better. Ugh,
Okay.
so gross. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway.